Hope for new day to every grace miracle on this shared planet. Pardon, my name is Miss Simona Brown right here on YouTube and Hopeful Uproar on Facebook. You can check me out on both or either platform if you are inspired by anything, and I'm also will check out your content. Now, this segment is going to be about remaining proactive about all areas of our life, pardon me. What do I mean by that? Well, we all at some point are responsible for ourselves. Yahweh is always readily available to aid any of us. However, we can't really receive the overall benefits of that extension of that aid if we're not doing our part and continuously reading, meditating, and applying the inspired, preserved, and historical scriptures. No one can't do that work for us. We can sit aside each other and support each other. We can hold each other up in wholehearted prayers and supplications. We can send a thoughtful message, inspiring card. We can listen for hours if we have time, or minutes, any time span to aid another priceless miracle. We can share resources and assist with childcare, share money. But if someone is evidently not being overall honest with themselves or is exhibiting to be heavily blinded to unhealthy areas of themselves, then how much is that really helping? Pardon, let me explain. If I am continuously extending my funds to someone who evidently is habitually misusing whatever they receive, not making the time to cook and stretch that through the week, being inconsistent about looking for work or showing up late for work when they finally get a job, and often not exhibiting to show a record of maintaining a healthy job repertoire. And I'm just continuously just extending money. What happens if I can't no longer do that for whatever reason? What happens if somebody else can't no longer do that? We all at some point have to learn how to manage. We have to learn how to continue to endure through challenges without always expecting someone to swoop down and instantly, quote unquote, save us from our habitual actions or our lack thereof or our lack of consistency or just unforeseen occurrences. Sometimes people can aid and help us, and at times they cannot. And there are many inspiring stories of those who continue to endure, and Yahweh eventually aided those individuals who remained faithful and continued to walk by faith. They didn't just evidently have their hand out and continued in a woe is me attitude. They also gave something for Jehovah to work with. That's only fair. Another example is someone who is heavily and habitually diving into quick fixes like overuse of alcohol, overuse of drugs, overuse of smoking marijuana. Even though it's natural, they're overusing it to the point where they're very evidently mentally sluggish, not exhibiting to be as enthusiastic and consistent with their work ethics because of feeling very or too relaxed. Because even something natural overused can defeat the purpose. Someone can evidently continue to run to someone's private part every time they feel like they're not as good as someone else, or when they're exhibiting to struggle with their self-esteem or their worth. Someone can continue to practice unhealthy coping mechanisms when they were enlightened at some point and continue to be enlightened at some point in regards to how that just multiplies challenges. Even if they exhibit to have a severity of a mental and emotional health challenge, it doesn't exclude that they have some ability to some degree, at least in some cases, to be proactive about therapy, be proactive about continuously exploring, discovering, and practicing healthier coping mechanisms and habits. You see, we all have some level of health challenges because we all are born in sin. And that's another story to explain another day. But the point is, if we act like it doesn't exist, or we behave in a habitual way like someone is supposed to always feel something that we're responsible for or that we can do for ourselves, then we likely will continue to be disappointed, and we likely will be hindering our own ability to continuously bloom and flourish to some degree. Now, in some cases, people may need consistent aid and consistent support depending on the severity of the mental or emotional or physical or all three health challenges, because we all rebuttal in all three or one or the other at some point in time. It's likely because we're human and, again, born in sin. But the point is, let me give an example. If my doctor prescribes me with a chronic illness and I decide to not be consistent about my doctor visits or not be consistent about consistently exploring and understanding my chronic illness, and paired with consistently finding ways to manage it, and I just act like it doesn't exist, will it just disappear? Likely not. It would likely get what? It would likely get more severe. So it's like Yahweh. Yahweh evidently works through the right-hearted one, the one that strives to remain teachable. They're not perfect, but they strive to remain teachable, and they strive to remain humble, and they strive to be proactive. And Yahweh may work through us or someone else at some point in time, and we may assist someone. Ultimate praises to Yahweh, Jehovah, alongside Yahshua. We may assist someone, but if that person is not remaining proactive about their part in matters or what they're able to do, then how far is that assistance going to last? Point is, we all struggle. We all have challenges. I haven't met anyone in this life that is problem-free. But we would do well, evidently, to continuously embrace healthy accountability or areas where we evidently notice are problematic and frustrating to us and others. And paired with that, we would do well to consistently explore, discover, and practice healthier coping mechanisms and habits. Yahweh above the heavens and Yahshua, Yahweh's first creation, Jesus, will continue to help those who are willing to be helped and remain proactive about themselves. Much love, once again, from Miss Simona Brown right here on YouTube. And please feel free to check out The Girl Who Absolutely Hated online, at Walmart online, on Walmart online. Did I say that again? If I said that again, I'm sorry. On Barnes & Nobles online, Amazon online. It's a very interactive, engaging, humorous, educational, social, emotionally empowering book for children and adults who support children. Thank you, and I hope that you feel free to tune in next time.